This time every year, our thoughts turn to generosity and spreading kindness to others. Here at CCX Media, we often see that kindness year-round. But this year, giving back was different and more important than ever. Whether it was neighbors helping neighbors or students helping seniors, there were plenty of examples of how people tried to make the best of 2020. We'd like to share a few of those stories of giving back, starting with Pafua Yang's story about spreading joy through a little lasagna love.
A home-cooked meal is a labor of love, especially if it's filled with homemade meat sauce, ricotta cheese, and grated yellow squash and zucchini.
Lasagna is just kind of that classic comfort food, right? And I feel everybody has their own recipe, and it's probably a recipe that has been passed down from generations to generations. It's personal.
Felicia Casper spends time making batches of lasagna to deliver to those in need during the pandemic, including people in the northwest suburbs, such as this home in Brooklyn Park.
I was feeling helpless, and I wanted to help our community and our families that were off worse than I was at the time.
But Casper is only one in 3,000 active volunteers nationwide cooking up lasagna for strangers.
Since the beginning, we've delivered over 6,000 meals to people. And at this point, we're delivering about 1,000 meals across the country each week.
RHIANNON, MENN, lives in San Diego and was the one who began this lasagna phenomenon.
Lasagna Love was started kind of by accident at the beginning of the pandemic, so back in April. And in the beginning, it was honestly just a way for me to feel like I was being more helpful.
And what started as a few meals to help neighbors suddenly became a nationwide movement in 6 months.
You don't have to be financially struggling to sign up for lasagna. You can be just an overwhelmed parent, or you can have, if we've had people sign up who have lost a family member from COVID and are just feeling like they don't want to cook and they don't know where to go next.
With more and more requests for meals, MENN says Lasagna Love needs all the help they can get.
I know here there's been a lot of need, and we would love to have more people in the community helping make and deliver meals.
And if you have the time and love cooking, why not?
It brings a sense of nostalgia and comfort and safety. And so if I can bring a little bit of that to families that are in need, that's our whole purpose. That's why we're here.
In Brooklyn Park, Pafua Yang, CCX News.
You can also see the language of love at a restaurant in Plymouth. The owners of Lucky Street were so thankful to their customers for continuing to support them during the pandemic that they decided to give back 15% of sales to interfaith outreach over a 2-day span. Lucky Street owner Lisa Envold says it was heartwarming to see customers coming in to check on them and bringing in generous tips too. She says it's that action that has made her optimistic about the year ahead. And this year, sewing masks felt almost like planting a victory garden. It's what Ginger Payhost did to help in the war against COVID-19. The Maple Grove resident took to her sewing machine to make as many masks as she could for anyone who needed them. Sometimes people give back without even knowing who the recipient would be. And that was the case for Joe Schmidt in Golden Valley.
My name's Joe Schmidt. I live in Golden Valley, and as you can see, I have a cello here. I like to play out on my front stoop from time to time, and during this difficult time with COVID, I've been doing it a lot more. Yeah, I remember, well, when I was young, I think in the 3rd grade, they gave us a music aptitude test. And I remember when they were explaining it, I was not paying much attention and thought I could wing it. And when I did the test, it was a total monkey score. And so nobody asked me to play an instrument that year. The next year they were trying to get some people to play on the orchestra, the grade school orchestra. So we had a nun who was in charge of that, and she would ask all the boys what instrument they wanted to play. Everybody wanted to play drums or trumpet. So I knew, she kept talking about, by the way, the great instrument the cello was. Nobody wants to play the cello. And I had no idea what a cello was, but when it came to my turn, I knew that if I was going to play something, it couldn't be drums or trumpet. So I said cello. In a way, playing the cello is a voice of it's my voice. For me, doing this, it gives me this kind of social connected aspect, and people seem to enjoy it, so. People have told me they like to open their windows, hear the music. I hope it takes them out of the kind of anxiety that I feel a lot of times with constant COVID-19 coverage. And you wake up in the morning and think about coronavirus, or you go to bed at night and you think about coronavirus. If it can take somebody out of that thought process for even a moment, then I think that's meaningful. So.
A group of students from Wayzata East Middle School and Fourth Baptist Christian School also used their musical talents to give back. They visited seniors from the Cherrywood Point community in Plymouth over the summer, performing music in the parking lot. Residents enjoyed the performance from afar. We'll leave you with more of that performance as we at CCX News wish you a safe and happy holiday season.